Good morning, Dr. Bakshi.
Morning.
I'm enjoying, as usual, the videos with you and happy that we are creating a lot of awareness. Now, my question is that in life, we try to succeed all the time. Sometimes we fail, sometimes we do succeed in winning. I just wanted to ask, what is the success formula according to you?
Well, that's a fascinating question. Actually, success has been defined different by different people differently. But what you said is right. Whatever your intention is to be something, to have something, or to do something. These are the three basic things, or experience something. All this, if we are able to meet that goal and get to the outcome, then you call it a success. That's basically what most of the time people feel. Now, what I like to do is I like to go into a little bit of a explanation, and then we can do some practices, to figure it out how to develop that. Now, what's fascinating, and I'm going to tell you the story about the two extremely wealthy guys, the top two, one of the times before Amazon came around, was Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Bill Gates was young, and his mom one time invited. They were friends, and mom invited had a dinner, and Warren Buffett was there too. Both of them had succeeded, and they're billionaires. If you combine the two, they're about 175 billion together, and that's big. So um, Mrs. Gates was asking around the guests. He said, "Well, you're very successful. Everybody was quite well to do and successful. So, what is one thing that you feel is the reason why you succeeded?" So, very fascinating. Many people said many things, but both Bill Gates and Warren Buffett use only one word, and that word was focus. Focus was the reason why they succeeded. A very fascinating part. So now comes the idea about what is focus. And focus means when you have, say, there's a more band that's going on. Say the light is going on. When you focus, it comes narrow down the beam. That's called focus. And when you look at very carefully at something, you narrow it down and you focus. Same thing will happen with the mind too. And so focus is narrowing down to a point, whatever that is. It could be an idea, it could be an action, it could be whatever it is, to narrow down, removing the rest of the side views, etc., and narrowing down. So that's one part. The second part is called concentration. We talk about that many times. So what is concentration? And the concentration is holding the focus. Hold the focus and holding at that point. That's called concentration. And it's much more like concentration is the amount of, let's say you have salt in water. Okay. Then initially you put all that salt, you're focusing the salt into the water. But then you put more salt, the concentration of salt increases. And so you're continuing to concentrate, holding that saltiness, if you want to say, hold the saltiness. And that's increases the concentration of salt in water. Same thing happens when you focus your ideas and then hold the ideas there. The salt is held in water, that creates the concentration. So now, after that, the third part that we use is called attention span. Now, attention span is how long can you hold the concentration? How long can you hold the focus? It's the length of time. So, in any field or any area that you want to succeed, Anybody wants to succeed. So let's say you want to do something. Then first you have to decide that this is what you want to do and nothing else. That's the focus. Once the mind gets behind that, say you want to read a book, then you got to get the book, and then you have to, if you open the book and you're looking around, that's not focus. But the concentration is focusing on to the actual content and really going into deep depth and holding it there. And the third is how long can you do it so that you can, page by page, you can read the book. So this is reading a book. Same thing happens in getting a job. Focus into what job you want, what your needs are. Focus on it and focus on yourself to say, yeah, you're able to do this job. That's all, this is fine. And then hold it there. And keep holding until it happens. So 3 things are required: focus, concentration, and attention span. Multiply the 3 and you will have a success. And it was fascinating. Warren Buffett was asked one time, he was with one of his pilots, I forget his name, but he was asking him about saying, okay, well, they were talking about success also. And this is another story that I'm going to tell you. And after the story, then we will do a practice, but we'll get into depth of practice, later on. But his pilot was the one who was asking him about, say, sir, you've been very successful and all. So he said, well, what would you like to accomplish? Let's say in the next week, write down about, 15 things. So he wrote down all the 15 things that you want to wish list, okay? And it was a week or a month, whatever time. Said 15 things you write down. So he wrote them down. And then he asked him, he says, well, out of these, select 5, top 5. Now you see, this is creating the focus a little bit, okay? That's the idea here. So he said, pick up top 5. So he wrote down top 5. And he said, now, okay, what are you going to do now in the next week or so? And so he said, I'm going to focus on them, these 5. And I'll continuously work with them. Well, that's great. For the whole week, it's called attention span for the week. So he involved all that. But then Warren asked him another question. He said, well, how about the other 10? There are other 10 things that you wrote down. What's going to happen to that? And his answer was, he says, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. And when I come to, I'll come and attend to it. Warren said, that's the wrong thing you're doing. He said, these 10 things, for the time being, when you're focusing, you have to defocus from them. It's called avoid at all cost items.
No distractions.
No distraction, exactly. So remove the distraction. Removal of distraction is as important as focusing. Focusing and defocusing. So you just focusing, and you don't have anything else enter in your mind.
It's like Arjuna and the eye of the fish.
Eye of the fish, exactly.
Required
right.
all the 3.
Right. So that's exactly what it is. You look at it, and so these are the 3 ingredients. And one of the things we do, and we'll do the practice at a later time, but practice this with the breathing technique. When we focus on the breath, and when we pay attention to it, when we concentrate on breath, and we do a little longer, you will have all the benefits of breathing.
True.
Basically, breath will control the mind and how it will happen. So I just want to introduce that topic, and we'll do some practices along those lines as well. Okay.
Yeah. It was really nice story. I did not know about it.
Okay.
Enjoyed.
All right.